Monday through Friday. Now it's empty due to the fact that we are on strike. We are fighting for what we deserve.
You can't expect these workers to make cars they can't afford to buy. This is just not about the UAW. This is about all active employees across the United States, because what happens here will happen everywhere.
But it's been a long time coming. It's history in the making.
No deal, no wheels.
For the first time in history, the United Auto Workers Union is striking against all big three automakers at once.
About 12,700 workers committed to a work stoppage at 3 locations.
The UAW is demanding pay raises of more than 40% for its members to match the pay raises of CEOs of the companies.
The strike became official overnight when that midnight deadline hit without a deal.
All of you know that there was once a time when a union job in the automobile industry was the gold standard for the working class in America.
Yup.
Well,
Preach,
we
Bernie.
are determined to bring those days back again.
What do we want? When do we want it? And if we don't get it?
Peers put one man higher than another, and it shouldn't be that way. Because you got two people that do the same job at the same time. Tier 1 gets to enjoy his family working 40 hours a week. The Tier 2 guy has to work 60 to 70 hours.
This is pretty sweet, by the way, for the UAW to also push for, which is like the abolition of the two-tier system, because they understand that it destroys solidarity. It is by design to do so, by the way. That is the outcome that they want to do.
A week, just to make the same amount of pay that you're close to the Tier 1 guy. He goes home at night, he can't even hold his baby no more because he can barely hold his hands. Spends time soaking in hot baths because he can barely move.
The big three, they have all them CEOs, they have no idea what it feels like to be able to wake up in pain almost every day, because we work those 6 to 7 days out the week and we have no time to rest our bodies. They don't understand that, and they don't get what it's like trying to figure out if you're going to be able to eat or put food on your family's table the next day. They don't get that at all.
If we signed up for the UAW's request, instead of making money and distributing...
I'm worried this just pushes big three into robotics in earnest. I hate this fucking fear, man. I hate this fear mongering. Like, what do you mean it pushes them into robotics? First of all, that's already happened. Like, you think manufacturing is happening by fucking by hand in the same way? They're already doing that. Okay, that's number one. The only thing that the move towards robotics in the absence of fucking labor contract negotiations will create is a smaller labor force, which has already happened, with profits being sky high for these corporate overlords, and the labor force getting the same amount of hours for less pay now, while their productivity is skyrocketed. The only way to stop against that, the only way to push back against that, is not necessarily to stop automation in general, but is instead to demand less hours for more pay. Same fucking workforce, less hours, more pay, even increase the workforce numbers, as a matter of fact.
$75,000 in profit sharing in the last 10 years, we would have lost $15 billion and gone bankrupt by now.
You've seen a 34% pay increase in your salary. You make almost $30 million. Why should your workers not get the same type of pay increases that...
So why are unions so difficult for HR payroll? Brilliant, bold, beautiful question. You work in payroll and HR. Both say unions are incredibly difficult to work with. Thoughts? Yeah, brother, what do you think your job is quite literally to be against, the better interests of workers. Like, that's your job. Like, that's by design. I mean, there's people who are in HR. Okay, there's people that work in HR in this community, but they also fucking know what their job is supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, before everybody goes scab and fucking yells at them, shut the fuck up, chat. Stop being weird, okay? It's a job. It's a job. What are you gonna do? Okay, everybody does awful shit for the most part. Calm down. But also understand that, like, your job directly pits you against the workforce. It's supposed to help the company. It's presented as a way to help the humans, human resources, the way to help the workers, but It's just yet another way to help and protect the company, shield the company from further legal scrutiny. That's your job. HR should be called LP instead for litigation prevention. That's all they do. Yeah.
You're getting. We think we have a very competitive offer on the table, and that's why we want to get back there and get this done.
Last year, these companies spent $9 billion not to improve the lives of their workers, but to pay for stock buybacks and dividends to make their wealthy stockholders even richer. Meanwhile, the average wage for American auto workers has decreased by 30% after adjusting for inflation. Do you want to know why you're out on strike right now? That's the reason.
Cost cutting will always continue, chatters. Objectively speaking, the cost of a car built in 1993 compared to 2023 would be astronomically high. Higher material costs and labor costs, but some current vehicles are out of reach of union workers being able to afford them. But somehow, you mean? It's not a bad metric. Can the UAW workers afford the vehicles they produce? It's a brilliant metric. If only someone with like a beard fucking made the same assessment, argument / prediction about workers not being able to own the things that they produce and what that means for companies. You know, there was a guy who had that. No, not Bernie. His name was Carlos Santana. Just kidding. His name is Carlos Marcus Aurelius. All right.
Without our labor, this country couldn't function. They say that we're asking for too much, but really it's the CEOs and the corporate leaders that are having too much. There's no reason that they should be making, 300-400 times more than what I make or what my union brothers and sisters make. Is your time really worth 300 or 400 times more? Do you really work 300 or 400 times harder than we do? No, you don't.
Every human being wants to provide a better life for their family. That's what we work for. That's what we go to work every day for. So a 40% raise, that would finally make us feel like what we're doing is actually respected.
Since 1948, COLA, the cost of living adjustment, has been part of every single UAW contract until 2009. You all took the biggest hit. Plant closures destroyed communities. You guys got rid of coal. You did everything you were supposed to do so you can keep them afloat. And now that you're all struggling, our retirees are struggling, now they want to turn their backs to you while they give themselves 300 to 4 times more in pay.
They want to use scare tactics now, saying we're going to wreck the economy. In their economy, one of our workers would have to work 400 years to make what a CEO makes in 1 year. We're not going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy.
I like how Sean Fain is aggressive.
The thing about Sean Fain's leadership is he's accountable to the membership. He's the first UAW leader that was directly democratically elected by the membership. He's actually doing what the members want. He's taking our demands. They're not the president's demands, but the members' demands, and taking them to the companies. It's not just about him having a cushy job at Solidarity House or being a big-time union boss. It's about fighting for your members, and so I respect him for that.
Walter Reuther, when he built the UAW back in the day, he worked hard to build a foundation combined by the big three that everybody.
Bro, it's getting harder and harder, progressively harder and harder for me to pay attention to what the fuck is going on screen, because Kaya is literally the cutest dog on the planet. Okay? She's just like standing behind me waiting to be pet. And I just keep giving her little pets, but it's just like so fucking hard. It's messed up. What she's doing is actually fucked up. Hi. It's nuts how big she is. It's crazy.
They wanted to work for. If you were a UAW auto worker, that was a dream job. Sean's leading us back into that direction again.
He's kind of like to me, like the big brother I need, in order for somebody to lead me and help me grow more within the union with my union brothers and sisters. I'm prepared to fight to the end, and I hope everybody's ready, because I'm ready.
The only way that you're going to get economic justice in your life is by coming together with other working class people. Our only clout as a class is to withhold our labor. And through withholding our labor collectively and acting in concert, we can have power to make this economy work for working class people.
Together we stand in solidarity. In solidarity we stand together. And together we're unstoppable.
Union! Union!
Sean Fain won the election by 500
That
votes, which is kind of crazy to think of, especially because I feel like now if you were to ask the UAW's like opinion on him, they would be dramatically more positive. It's crazy.